Well, ladies and gents, I'm joined up in the commentary box here with a gent by the name of Scott McPhee, who is very, very involved with the Toowoomba Royal Show. Good afternoon, Scott. Welcome up into the commentary box.
G'day Chris, thanks for having me. Great view you've got up here, I notice.
Absolutely, and surrounded by walls, which means I get to stay dry, which a lot of people would be jealous about. But first and foremost, Scott, I understand that you are one of 5 generations that have been involved with the Toowoomba Royal Show.
Yeah, that's right. I guess I would be the 4th generation. My great-grandfather Alex McPhee was on the committee for almost 50 years, and every year at the Sheep Pavilion we have the Alex McPhee Cup awarded to the best pen of fat lamb, so that's been awarded this year. And then grandfather, dad, myself, I was on the committee for a while, back about 6, 7, 8 years, and kids have volunteered here. My daughter Shauna was the showgirl back in 2018, so I guess it just underlines how important the show is to the Toowoomba community, and everyone would have family members who've either been involved on the organising side or just as participants. And even though the weather's pretty wet today, it's great to see everyone in good spirits and really enjoying the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think a bit of rain will dampen anyone's spirits when it comes to the agricultural show. It just goes to show how important generations are within our show system. Well, I personally am also a 3rd or 4th generation involved with shows down in New South Wales. And what sort of things are you still involved with here at the show, and what sort of things are you starting to bring into the show, please?
So I think technically I'm still a steward in the fine arts section. My wife Jennifer is on the committee and she runs it. I haven't had much to do with it this year. I'm here, I guess, as an individual today. I work for BirdLife Australia, and in the Founders Pavilion you'll see a BirdLife Australia stand. So we have a new project called Birds on Farms, and we're focusing on the Lockyer Valley and Toowoomba region, where we're working with landholders and farmers to get an idea of what birds they've got on their property, and then increasing habitat where we can. And a lot of the farms that we work on, particularly the cattle properties, are working farms, and so we work in with the priorities of just needing to make a living on these farms basically. And I think a lot of farmers now are starting to realise that you can have productivity outcomes with increasing biodiversity as well. So I'm here working on that project. If anyone would like to come and chat about it more, just have a look for me in the Founders Pavilion. I'm diagonally opposite the floral art display.
Very, very interesting. So when we talk about bird life on properties and that sort of thing, are you looking to increase water bird life, birds of prey, or just everything sort of across the board?
Well, we're looking mainly at woodland birds. So if you think of the country on the Darling Downs, where there's a lot of grassy woodland with timber in amongst it, it's the kind of birds that use that habitat. And the reason why we're looking at that, particularly with private land holdings, is in Australia 80% of the temperate woodlands are gone, and so about 70% of what remains is in private hands. So this is why we're not working with national parks or state forests, we're just working with farmers and private landholders. So the good thing about working with plants and animals and the environment in general, if you focus on one thing like birds, you're also going to help koalas and pretty much the whole spectrum of the biodiversity that's there on the properties. And then this spills over into better pasture and things like that. If you can increase tree cover, you're creating windbreaks, you're retaining more moisture in the soil, you've got shade for your cattle. So we like to work with the farmers on what they're trying to achieve as well, but our focus is woodland birds. But we have some properties near the rainforest on the escarpment, and down in Lockyer Valley where the wetlands are, we have some that have got some good wetlands there as well.
So we're looking at increasing bird life. Are we looking to do that by just changing the environment and hoping they come back? Or are we actually going to start reintroducing certain birds into this environment?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Chris. What you want to do is create an environment where they can look after themselves. So increasing habitat, extending wildlife corridors and things like that. So we have got some endangered species that we're targeting, but our main aim is to increase their habitat so the animals can look after themselves.
Yeah, very, very interesting things. And the biodiversity obviously goes hand in hand with agriculture. You improve one thing, you improve other things, which obviously can improve the bottom dollar. So yeah, very, very interesting. If you would like to learn more about this BirdLife Australia and this, I'll have the project, that's the word. I knew it would come to me. I always have mind blanks. You want to learn more about the project, go and see Scott and his team over in the pavilion, and I'm sure he can talk you through what's going on. Now that we've talked about the serious side of things, a couple of, or a question that we do try and ask everybody. You come to the show, obviously here all day, you get hungry. What is your one treat, your one go-to food on the showground every year?
Well, I'd like to say a jaguar dog, but I'm trying to be healthy, so I went for a meat pie, which probably isn't that healthy anyway, but yeah, I like pies.
No, great answer, great answer. I'm personally more of a sweet tooth, so I tend to go for the fairy floss. But the problem is I do too many shows, so I go for too much fairy floss throughout the year. But no, Scott, thank you very much for joining us up here. It's absolutely wonderful to hear about that project that's going on. Also great to hear about the family aspect and how it is so involved with the show, and hopefully it continues on for many years to come.
Yeah. Thanks very much for your time, Chris, and yeah, we'll certainly be coming back next year with the BirdLife project, and my family will be involved here for a long, long time too, I think, so thank you.
No, thank you very much. Ladies and gents, Scott McPhee, and as we said, if you want to talk about BirdLife Australia, go and see him up in the pavilion, and he will give you all the details that you require.